Hey guys, welcome back to A&G DIY. So I'm really excited for our video this week because it's probably the largest scale project that I'm going to be working on as far as I know for the Making to Move series. And by large scale, I don't necessarily mean in size because we did have those 2 whole nightstands, but it is largest scale in the amount of work and the type of work that is going into it. So what we are doing this week, I'm so pumped. It's really gonna put my skills to the test. I am making a DIY pegboard. I thought it'd be a great way to add some vertical storage into my tiny apartment. So I wanted to purchase one and I went to see how much they were based off Pinterest's recommendation on Etsy, and they were, are you ready? $200. So I started looking up how to create a pegboard by yourself, DIY, and it's honestly not as tough as you would think, but it does require some materials that not everybody has on hand and that I personally have not shown yet in these videos. Those being using a saw. I will also have to use a drill and a 3/4 inch drill bit in order to drill the holes that the pegs will go into our board. So let's talk our wood materials. Actually, with all the materials that I purchased, I'm going to be able to create 2 of these pegboards. The most important part of a pegboard is, of course, the pegs. What I did was I found a dowel from Home Depot. It was 4 feet tall and 3/4 inch thick. Most of my materials I did get pre-cut from Home Depot. I would highly suggest that if you do need anything, ask them first. I had the guy at Home Depot cut down to the 12 inches, but we are actually going to cut these down to 6 inches. So now let's talk about the shelves. I purchased from Home Depot a 6 inch by 1 inch by 8 foot wood board, and I had the guy at Home Depot cut these down. I ended up with an 8 inch remainder that I'm going to use as just one small shelf, but then I also ended up with a 20 inch board and a 12 inch board. These slats that are used in a shelving unit from Ikea called Hejne. I'm going to put aside my dowels and my wood planks, and we're just going to focus on the board itself, and I'm going to measure out exactly where I want to put all of my holes that the dowels will go into. So I'm armed with my measuring tape, my pencil, and we are going to do that now.
Start by measuring the length of your board and divide by the number of holes you need. I chose to do 5 on my 30-inch board and mark the wood at every 5 inches accordingly. You'll want to measure the height of each slat as well to ensure that each hole is centered. If using a solid wood board, the same principle applies since you'll want the holes to be even.
Alright, so I just marked off all the spots where we're going to drill the holes into that the pegs are going to go on. So right now I have my power drill with a 3/4 inch drill bit, and I also have just a regular old scrap piece of wood that I'm going to place underneath this board, so when I do drill the hole through the board, if it does keep going, it's going to go into this plank of wood and it's not into my parents' glass table.
Using the pencil marks, I drill through each wood slat. You should drill down into the board from the same side that will be visible once complete, so that any wood splintering will be hidden.
Alright, so we are missing just a little bit more power in the power drill to get through the very last peg. So in the meantime, I'm going to grab my dad and we're going to use the handsaw to chop those dowels. So we have 6-inch pieces. So we're going to do that now.
Measure the dowel to 6 inches and use the pencil to mark. Once you have a cut dowel available, you can use that for sizing. Make sure that you are prioritizing safety when using a saw. Stabilize the wood and score before cutting through. A miter box is a safe and effective way to stabilize your wood as you cut.
So we have all the dowel pieces now all cut down to 6 inches. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go around the edges and just any of the rough edges. I'm just going to use a little bit of the sandpaper, which I will be putting these ends into the board itself, so it's not going to be visible on display, but just so there's no risk of splinters. Alright, so those dowels look great, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the pegboard itself and I'm going to go around the edges as well. On the opposite side, if you can see, there was some splintering, which is, it's bound to happen when you're working on a project like this, which is why you want that to be at the back, because I will go over this with the sandpaper as well, but it's still going to be visible that this side got a little bit more wear and tear than this side. All right, let's assemble. Alright, so at this point, I got them all into the board. I'm not exactly sure how stable they are because I didn't get to push it all the way through like I intended. I think I'm probably going to have to get a mallet to do that, but let's see how it looks. Alright, so on the top here, I'm going to place my 8-inch board. Ta-da! I'm going to do some finishing touches, which includes taking all the stickers off because if you can see, there's still some stickers that are remaining. And I am going to get these pegs all the way in so we can actually show it off and have it support weight. This is actually so much easier than I expected too. And yes, it did require a little bit of some know-how and some help with the handsaw and the power drill, but as long as you are experienced in those things or you get help from someone who is experienced in those things, then there's no reason why you shouldn't give this a try because they're super easy, super cheap. I think altogether it was, let's just round out for argument's sake, Jersey tax, $20. That means $10 per pegboard instead of $200. I'm thrilled. As always, thank you so much for watching. Please like, please comment, please subscribe, please give me suggestions, please tell your friends. And yeah, thank you so much, and I'll see you guys next time.